Hello, Lade Deo. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lade. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you what I made in my house for New Year's. I cooked for about 30 to 40 people, so it was a lot of cooking and I'm excited. If this is your first time, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's get cooking. So I used this size of onions and I used about 17 to 18 balls of onions. And then to parboil my rice, I just put it in a big bowl, the quantity of rice that I'll be using, and then pour really boiling hot water on top of it and then use a tray to cover it. That way the hot water cooks the rice just a little bit and then it absorbs all the water, but that's not a problem because we're gonna wash it anyways. And this is where all the magic happens, guys. I'm just using a 2-burner tabletop gas and I made food for about 30 to 40 people. So the meat is frying. It's actually chicken, and that's the big pot that I'm going to be using to make the sauce for the jollof rice. This is the vegetable oil that was used to fry the meat. And that's what I'm going to be using to fry the sauce. Just that it wasn't enough and I had to add more. So what I did first was to pour the oil from the fried chicken into the pot, and then after that I poured the onions. See, onions and jollof rice, they are like 5 and 6. They go together so well, and onions is that element that's going to make it sweet, like sugar sweet. So onions, you can never go wrong with too much onions. Allow it to caramelize under medium heat. You don't want the onions to burn. Then I put some bay leaf, some powdered ginger and powdered garlic. That's the brand that I'm using. Please, I want you to remember that I'm cooking for about 30 to 40 people. So when you see some of the things that I'm doing, the proportion is 30 to 40 people. This is a really big pot. I showed it earlier. So don't get scared. This is the type of curry I like to use when I'm making like big food like this, and I actually just like this brand. I'm going to be using a lot of curry, and then the thyme not so much because I find that thyme makes my food just a little bit bitter. I don't know if it happens to anybody else, but yeah. So I'm just going to mix all that in. The oil is not enough, but later on I'll be adding more oil. This is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using some what's this thing called, tomato paste. Yes, and I didn't use all of that. I think I used about half of that tin of tomato paste, and I'm going to put it now because I want it to fry. And that frying process takes it from being sour and canny to tasting sweet. So the sweetness from the fried tin tomatoes, the sweetness from the onions, like this rice, you can't go wrong. It will be harder for you to mess it up. Well, so this is what I'll mix it up and then just allow it to heat up. And this is me adding more oil because the previous one wasn't enough and it was going to start burning. I wanted it to like cook fry, and now I'm just going to add the pepper mix, which is tomatoes, scotch bonnet, that's atarudo, tatashe, shombo, and then a lot of onions as well. And I blended that smoothly at the market, and I've parboiled it already so it doesn't waste my time when it comes to making the sauce. And immediately after I put the pepper, I'm putting in the chicken. If you notice, the chicken is fried dry, and that's on purpose, but I can like soften it a little bit by putting it in early. And then I'm going to put in the stock from the chicken, which I just did. The pot is already full, guys. Like, I think I had like 60 pieces of chicken. So I took it out after a while, and that's the pepper that I had there. But when it's time to start cooking my rice, I made it in 3 batches. Like I showed you guys my little tabletop now. So I had to make it 3 times. I don't have a pot that is big enough to cook everything at once. So I put in the stock. I had stock saved up, and then you just put in some of the sauce. This is the rice when it's all washed up. When it starts to boil, that's when you add the rice. Actually, I didn't show you this, but before it started to boil, I added salt and bouillon cubes to it, and then I tasted it as well. But you taste and you add seasoning after you've added the meat stock because the meat stock in itself is seasoned. So while that's cooking, I went on to prepare the elements for my coleslaw, which is the carrots. I had people helping me, please don't get it twisted. I didn't do it all by myself. I have to give them credit. Somebody helped me to clean the carrots. I grated some part of it and then I left it for others to help me. But this, I was showing them how I wanted it to be, and then I ended up doing a lot of it. But the cabbage, I did it myself because that one's very tactical. Like, it has to be really thinly sliced, and I just prefer it like that. This is the plantain I'm going to be frying. We fried all of these, and we just fried golden brown. This is our patty frying size. The first batch of jollof rice is ready, and I just cut onions. This was about 3 bulbs of onions because it's the small size. And then you're just going to put it and then cover it so it steams. This onion makes it sweet. I still put onion like sometimes on it, fresh onion, yeah, when I want to eat it. Sometimes my husband does that a lot. And this is it, yeah. I'm just putting the first batch away, and this is New Year rice. This is onions that I'm going to be using for coleslaw. I learned a trick on Instagram about onions and how to make sure like it doesn't have the oniony taste when you're going to use it for fresh things, and that's to add cold water, like ice cold water, and then allow it to be there for a while. When you use it, when you take it out of the cold water, it's not going to have that thing again. To make my coleslaw dressing, I have some sugar, ketchup, peppercorn, freshly grounded peppercorn, some mayonnaise, and some salt. I start off with the sugar, and I just put in like 1 big tablespoon of sugar and tiny amount of water, and I try to dilute that. Then this peppercorn thing I have has a grinder, and I'm just going to grind like fresh peppercorns inside of it because it's black pepper. I like the taste of it. I like the fact that it's fresh, and I just like that I can grind it. So I add that, and then I add in some ketchup. Let me tell you guys, this dressing, if you've tasted my coleslaw before, you know you've wondered what kind of dressing I use. I make it. So this is what I do. There are different variations that I have, but this is the basic one, classic one that I use. So add enough ketchup to that before you add your mayonnaise. And I added enough mayonnaise, like I think I used all of that jar. So because I really wanted it to be creamy, just as if you're using mayonnaise, but then mayonnaise with some ajasa, with some additions and some, you know, all of that. So I added more peppercorn because I like it to have a kick. It's not going to be spicy at all. It's just going to have a nice kick. And so when I'm done, I put it in another like dressing. Oh yeah, that's me putting all. I rinsed the jar of mayonnaise and poured it in. You're just going to put it in another dressing container so that you can dispense easily. So this is the onions that I was soaking in cold water earlier, and this is where I will just store the cabbage. I added olives from the potato salad I made at the beach. If you haven't seen that video, you should. And then I just kind of take a little bit of carrots, a little bit of cabbage, and I mix per time. So when it's ready to serve, that's when I mix. I don't mix everything just because we may not eat everything at once. Just a little at a time, and I cover it and then put it away in the fridge so that I can now like dish out of it. But that's how I do. This is my plate, guys. I don't know why I was focusing on the salad. I can't find the clip that had the rice showing. I had 2 different rice. One of them was from my neighbor, and one of them was the one that I cooked with some chicken and some plantains. This is all I have on today's video, guys. I hope it was interesting. I made 3 batches of rice, so 3 pots of rice, and we're just cooking it one after the other and putting them in coolers or warmers rather. And that's all I made for New Year's. We had drinks and we had good company, and we watched the movie at home, and it was really nice and cozy. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this is all I have on today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it, and until next time, guys, be the best version of you. Bye.